sitting here getting my fat bitch on, and Toronto Raptors, all disrespect intended. At first, I'm not even positive you're a U.S. citizen. Not that you have to be Canadian to like the Raptors, but I digress. You put this comment on my video where the young woman was so scared that she took down her pride flags for the safety of herself and her family. And with your full chest and all your privilege on display, you said, no one wants to put you back in that position. People just don't want unnecessary influence on their children, and they want people to come to their own decisions without them being glamorized. Glamorized? It is fairly obvious that you're not a member of any marginalized community. I'm wearing a t-shirt from Rainbow Youth Project. It's a really marvelous group that came into existence because the unaliving rate of LGBTQIA plus youth is almost 3 times that of straight youth. That doesn't seem very glamorous to me. The hate crime statutes came into effect because back in the 80s, gay bashing was a sport. And you could go to the police and say, well, I got beat up when I left the gay bar. And they say, no, you got beat up because they thought you were ugly. It might be simple assault, but there was no enhancement. We weren't even allowed to be married until 2015. That's 9 years. That's only 9 years. See, when, like, my friend Bill died in the early 2000s, even though he and his partner had been together for over 20 years, and they had gotten a civil commitment, which was the most you could get in Minneapolis at that time, when Bill died, his partner wasn't allowed to claim his body. We've made our own spaces, especially after the AIDS epidemic. We made our own churches. We made our own funeral homes. We made our own doctor's offices. We made our own hospices. We made our own clubs. And even though we'll stay out of your space, you still come into ours, like at Club Q, and try to unalive us. You propose over 400 pieces of legislation that are aimed directly at the LGBTQIA plus community, and especially the trans community. What legislation was aimed at the straight community? Or your ability to get health care as a straight man? None. I can tell you, growing up as a Gen Xer, I was born in 1966. I knew by first grade I was different, that I had crushes on girls and boys. And I did not have one gay teacher. We did not have one gay friend in the family. We did not have a gay neighbor. There were no gay books. There were no gay t-shirts at Target. There was no gay pride in Omaha. But I still turned out that way. So any influence that you're talking about, the biggest influence I had over and over and over again was from straight people. And despite all of that influence, I still turned out the way I turned out. It's not glamorous. Just because we have a pride parade where we can all get together safely and celebrate each other and our families and our loved ones. Where there's a parade where I can stand and cheer for my son who's marching in the parade, like any mom would want to do. Doesn't mean we don't have to have extra security. Doesn't mean we don't have to have escorts to our cars. because we are still targets. It's not glamorous. Your privilege is showing.